Hi, my name's Terri Lee-Shield. I am the host of Online Learning Space Love School, and I am doing a little bit of an introduction today to explain what my expertise in relation to relationships and love is all about. I work with two areas that I call life design and shadow work. You may have heard of them. Different people interpret those terms slightly differently. So I just want to introduce how I interpret them, what it means to me, and the relevance of using this information for your journey in love school, learning to love self, others, and everything. So first of all, we'll start with life design. Life design is a term that I hear some people using, but I use specifically to explain a process of conscious creation. It's conscious creation with an awareness of nature, awareness of our natural states of being, and taking into account all that we are subject to with the physical environment that we live in, and with the different energies that we have to work with, our different emotions, how our minds work. Sorry, that's the dog coming in. And more. So life design is conscious creation. And a lot of what I do is about seeking balance. It's about creating wholeness, because everything that I believe in, that I share about, is all based on natural, holistic healing. It's finding the whole of ourselves in natural ways. And these two tools are the most effective way I've found to manage, to plan, to create, to navigate a healing journey for natural and holistic healing. I want to show you a little illustration because it's going to help explain a little bit about why I use these two different tools, and I'll explain a little bit more about shadow work in a minute. So I'm going to share my screen. You may have seen this image many, many times. This is Yin Yang, and it is foundational to the information that I've learned, the information that I understand about mastering ourselves and mastering our energy. Now, I am not, I'm not a Taoist. I've never been taught in that religion. I'm not sure if it's a philosophy or religion. That's how much I know about Taoism. And I realize that this symbol is linked to it. But just on my personal journey, my exploration of spirituality, this is the best symbol that I can use to describe the majority of what I've learned in the simplest way. I very much choose to respect the fact there are polarities in the world, and I understand that the world is not all black and white. There are tones of grey, but grey is created through black and white. You can't have grey unless there's a mix of black and white. So the two extremes do exist, and understanding these extremes, especially for me, was foundational to good health and well-being. Now, this image of the yin yang, that's often used to represent masculine and feminine, and I'm going to talk about that in a completely different video, I am using to explain light and dark. And for what I am sharing and what I bring to the world of self-development and healing is the idea of life design and shadow work. Life design is conscious creation. It is what we are aware of. It's using our mind to strategically choose what it is that we are going to do, to become aware of what we want to change and be able to make moves on that. So this is the white here. This is the white. This is the light. And what is important to mention is that even when we are consciously doing or choosing to create a life for ourselves, to make a change, to seek healing, there's always going to be a little bit of this unconscious aspect. The other part of the picture that I bring is an expertise in shadow work. Now, what shadow work is, in my definition, is learning to understand our unconscious behavior, what we're not aware of, or more specifically, the physical patterns, behaviors, reactions, and responses that we do and have that we don't think about. It's the physical drive of our body that we are not consciously doing. Okay, the things that we are unconsciously repeating, the things that we are unconsciously living that create our reality, our physical reality. But let's pop back to this. You'll see in the darkness of the shadow, the darkness of what it is that we are not conscious of, there's always a light pot of awareness. There's always some awareness of our unconscious drives. So this is where the mastery, I feel, that comes in when we are trying to really understand ourselves and make a change in our life. If we want to transform, and this is what I bring to the table. When we are wanting to change our physical reality, we need to understand our unconscious drives. We need to understand what has been programmed into our body, what our body does without our awareness. And yet there's always that little bit of awareness that what we're doing, maybe this is not healthy for me, maybe this is not right for me, maybe this is not what I'm doing, because that is the drive that wants to seek a solution. And then life design, as I said, is the other side of that. It's bringing that to awareness. What are we aware of? What can we become aware of? What can we consciously do? Life design is very much about creating a strategy. It's about becoming more and more aware, more and more enlightened to ourselves, seeing more of ourselves and understanding more of ourselves. But knowing that there's always going to be that unconscious programmed parts of our bodies that cannot be changed, like our breathing, for example, like our heart beating, for example. They're just there. Those are innate parts of our unconscious being, our unconscious body that are required for survival. Same as with the shadow work, there's always that conscious part of us that wants to thrive, that is aware of what we're doing, that is paying attention. Even when, this is why there's quite a lot of, conversation about wokeness at the minute. I don't like using that term. I really don't like that term at all, but it is what is popular, and it kind of, probably you've heard it. And people talk about people being unconscious and say, well, how can I be unconscious? I'm awake, I'm doing stuff. But actually you're doing stuff, but you're not choosing what you're doing. You're not fully seeing what you're doing or the consequences of what you're doing. You're actually just acting out what your body's telling you. Now, your mind is that place where we can engage with our consciousness, becoming aware and choosing for ourselves what we're going to do, how we're going to use our body. And it does take work to change. It takes work to reprogram our body patterns, our habits, our behaviors, to be in line with what we choose and would like them to be. And that's kind of where I come in. That's where my expertise, and I can see both. I have the strategy, and I have the tools, I have the processes and the methods that you can use for life design to make the strategy to become more aware of yourself, to learn about yourself. And I can also understand and see and really identify the needs or the core, the root of the behavior of this shadow work, of this unconscious drives that we have. They came from somewhere, and more often than not, they've come from our past. They've come from our past condition, and we are responding in each moment based on who we previously were and the experiences we previously had. I don't want to get into too much detail in this video because I would like it to be a little introduction. I am going to do another video about the fundamentals of healing for ourselves and in relationships, in relation to this yin yang, as part of understanding masculine and feminine energies that we work with. So please do join me in that, and thank you for watching.